to the executive board of Western Wing to try to get it waived or cut in half, but I think I included that. They denied that.
All right, let's move to 7.2. Any questions for the chief?
This is just like CEU's ongoing training. I think you brought this before, right? Like
Yeah,
learning
this
management
is the company that does our ACLS and BLS continuing education credits every year. Also, they're going to do our pump training, which actually we're doing today, aerial training, and a live burn simulation.
All right, any other councilman? Chief, that's all in-house training?
We do it here, yes. It's not with personnel from the fire department training us. It's actually the Dearborn Heights firefighter that trains us.
Okay, great, thank you. Any other questions for the chief? If not, thank you. All right, moving on to the quarterly police and fire pension reports. Trying to look through this to see what, in summation, what has been the rate of return. We talked about this, I think, during the last quarterly report. So I'm not certainly got that information, just kind of in summary, just kind of go over what the rate of return, for most, last year was up, this year's down. If anybody's kind of looking at the 401ks, just wanting to get a similar sense of where we're at with our return on investments, or at least the police and fire pension plan return on investments.
Yes, so through the chair, to the pleasure of the council, this report comes out for the police and fire pension plan and the general pension plan. So it's a little bit different format. It gives a little bit more information than what was presented in the past. It concentrates more on comparative analysis. So for a moment of your time, I can go through this report real quick for you guys, kind of go over what some of the numbers mean and what they look like. As I mentioned, this is for the police and fire pension plan. And looking at the report, starting on page 2 of the report, page 2 really just gives you a snapshot of the allocation of the investments for the pension plan. As you can see there, starting with Algier, going all the way down to the portfolio advisors, you got the cash account, and you have the commingled fund account. But those are all the accounts, all the funds that represent the police and fire pension fund as of June 30th, 2022. So as you can see at the top left of page 2, in that shaded area, that's the amount of asset value in the account as of June 30th. So approximately just over $131 million. So obviously it's a large pension fund. That being said, going on to the next couple pages, you have your, gives you more breakdown on your asset allocation, your investment allocation by types. As you can see on the bottom of page 3, it goes your actual asset allocation versus your target allocation. And just to give a little bit of background on the allocation versus target. So what happens is both pension boards, they approve asset allocation, how much can be spent in different type of investments, equities, fixed income like bonds, things like that. So the pension boards, with the advice of their financial advisor, comes up with that target allocation. So when you see target or target policy, that's what the investments would be doing when you have that, if you're achieving that target policies. Because sometimes throughout the years, you may have your equities where your target policy is at 45%, while your actual is at 42%. So that's the difference there, is when you see actual versus target, they're showing you what the amounts were where you had your actual investments, what it would have been if you were at your target level, things like that. And you're also going to see what the benchmark is for that particular security, which I'll go over real quick in some of the future pages here. information, looking at your fund composite or your fund actual versus your fund policy, and it kind of gives you a little bit of historical performance as well too. Page 5, is probably the first thing I go to on page 5 is this is your comparative information. And as you can see, on top of page 5, you have your total fund composite, that top gray area. So as the chairman was referenced to, this is your return on investment for those particular quarters or year. As you can see, different columns represent different timelines, right? So just by way of an example, the quarter, you can see that the pension plan actually had a negative 12.4% return. And if you go down there, you will see that the policy calls for actual 12.67. So if everything was invested at the 100% of what the policy asked, you would actually have a little bit more of a loss than actually what happened. And then what they do is they compare it to the average of all government plans. And as you can see, the average of all government plans are approximately about 10% loss. So again, more comparative information. That being said, but if you move on to and if you look at those numbers in the those numbers in the parentheses, that's the what percentile that you're in. The higher the number is actually the worst. You want to be lower in those parentheses. As you can see in the quarter, we're at 96th percentile. Wasn't a great quarter for the plan, but when you look at the 3-year, 5-year, you will see those returns. The 3-year return was 6.8%, 5-year return 7.8%. As you can see, those numbers are very low when you look at the in parentheses, 11 percentile, 23 percentile, 7-year even better, 8 percentile, and then 10-year we're in the 2nd percentile. So over a 10-year period, smoothing period, the police and fire pension plan has been doing very well with those returns. Just looking at 10-year, we had a 9.76% return. The average public plan was only averaging about 7.7% return. So that's what these comparative information looks like. And as you go on through the rest of the pages, what it does is breaks down the comparative information per investment type, per